Praise be Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church approaches miracles with great skepticism. This is one of the things that caused me to take the Catholic Church a little more seriously when I was a young skeptical atheist as a teenager. I learned about the process, the rigorous process the Catholic Church takes before approving anything miraculous. Immaculée, in her beautiful book, Our Lady of Kibeho, she describes this quite well in her book. She talks about how in Kibeho, the whole country of Rwanda was captivated by these alleged apparitions of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Kibeho, and everyone was talking about it. But she said, but while people from all walks of life were rushing to hear the words of the Mother of God, the leaders of the Catholic Church had remained out of sight and almost silent about the events in that village. Now, some people would be very critical of that. It's like, oh, why are they so skeptical? Why aren't they more open-minded? She says, if the Vatican approved an apparition that later turned out to be a hoax or the ravings of a lunatic, the Church would be humiliated, and the credibility of centuries of church dogma and doctrine would be called into question. And then she goes on, I won't read the whole thing, but she says, the Church exercises extreme caution about accepting an alleged supernatural event as true. She says there's a long list of criteria, batteries of physical and psychological tests. The personal lives, history, habits, friends, and family have all thoroughly investigated to assess the supposed visionaries' moral character and the depths of faith. And she says even when the Vatican does take the rare step of approving an apparition, such as with Fatima and Lourdes, the approval is not necessarily a declaration of truth. Like, you don't have to believe, what the Church says is worthy of belief. Fascinating. I can't get into all the details, but the reality is our God is a God of miracles. But as Catholics, we don't just accept things without carefully discerning and verifying that they are true. And again, this is what gives me a great confidence in the careful, rigorous, cautious discernment of the Catholic Church. And again, in this book, they get into a lot of the details of how these visionaries were investigated, and sometimes it's amusing, sometimes it's almost shocking how rigorous they were in their investigation. Anyways, I want to read to you from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. St. Paul says, "Do not quench the Spirit. Do not despise prophetic utterances. Test everything. Retain what is good." Viva Cristo Rey.